Today's First Alert afternoon weather update is brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.
Good Tuesday afternoon, First Alert meteorologist Diane Phillips here, joining you from our First Alert desk. I know I've been away for a little while, but glad to be back. I was able to travel with 28 of our TV5 viewers to Hawaii. We went to the 50th state, so we had, of course, some nicer weather there, warm. A little bit of an adjustment coming back. I'm hoping later on that we can share some photos. I'll also have some photos to share during our 4 o'clock newscast, so make sure you tune in for that if you kind of want to see some of those snippets. But hopefully I can also share some of those as we get into a little bit later on this week, kind of getting a little more settled as we get adjusted. But back at home, we still have some snow on the ground. However, I am tracking a warm up in the forecast, not only for today, but even longer in the forecast. So we are going to be talking about some of that snow melting, kind of where we should be here for the season and how everything is going so far. I do want to take this live look outside. Sadly, I don't have any sunshine. It looks like that didn't fit in my suitcase, but we still have those winter clouds. It's the Great Lakes state after all. We know it comes with the territory. So we are working with those clouds right now. We still have that snowpack on the ground, as I had mentioned, and we are still finding that we do have that breeze that's going on. It was also quite breezy on my adventures to Hawaii as well. So we are going to continue to get some of that air movement here. Here's also another camera that we have in Flint, looking like a little more sunshine trying to pop up there. So looks like we need to go for a road trip down 75 and grab our sunglasses. Any little bit of sun goes a real long way. So we are happy to see a little bit more of a sunnier forecast coming through for some of us. Now, we do have our temperatures that are warming up today. We are going to be finding those already into the mid to upper 30s. We've gained a lot of ground here in just even the last couple of hours. So we are currently sitting at 36 at MBS Airport in Saginaw. We are at 37 in Flint and Bay City, 39 for Owasso, and check out Mount Pleasant. They're at 42 degrees. So they are wasting no time bringing in some of that heat. We are at 37 for Gladwin and in West Branch. In Caseville now, we're at 33 degrees. Same for Bad Axe. Harbor Beach is at 34, and we have 35 in Port Sanilac. So a lot of us still seeing those 30s. We are at least above freezing, so you are going to find that maybe some of those parking lots that have some ice that's packed down, that should start to get a little bit better. Just keep in mind though that temperatures are going to drop below freezing tonight, so anything that does melt could be a little bit slippery. So kind of keep an eye out if you're walking the dog tomorrow morning through the neighborhood. You still may run into still some slick spots. Kind of just goes with the territory here. Also this afternoon, I have been keeping an eye to radar. If you've opened up the First Alert weather app, you're going to find that we do have some precipitation trying to show up there. But as that has rolled through, it hasn't been able to make it to the ground. We've had some drier air in place, so it's been evaporating before it comes through. So maybe, just maybe, you've seen a snowflake or a raindrop, but overall we haven't had any impacts on our roadways from this coming through. We were even tracking a little bit of freezing drizzle last night. That, though it moved through, it also evaporated before coming in. So we have that drier air in place. So that's been keeping us, of course, dry at the surface. But higher up in the atmosphere, we've still been seeing those conditions for wet weather. It's just not actually playing out at the surface. So we are going to find that we still have a look of winter on the pinpoint Doppler, but even that's really fading away. Maybe some returns getting picked up there across Lapeer and Sanilac counties, but overall we're not seeing that we have too much going on here, so we're going to keep that forecast pretty quiet. That's why we have that 10% in here for today. And also, we still have that 10% in for tomorrow. Thankfully, our wind chills haven't been too out of line here, but kind of where we should be at this point in the season. When we look at the almanac, you are going to find that normal highs are right around freezing, if not just a couple degrees below that. So we're talking 30 for Saginaw, 31 in Flint, and 28 in Houghton Lake. Normal lows, seeing those in the teens. I know before we had left on the trip, we had seen that we had a lot of our highs that were just into the teens, and those wind chills were even beyond that. So we're kind of happy to get back to normal here for the middle of February, but we do have that warm up coming in. When we look at our temperatures here this week, even in the next 5 days today, we do have those upper 30s, but we are going to be finding that we do have upper 20s going into the lower 30s on Wednesday and Thursday. So we still kind of drop back a little bit here as we reach the middle of the week, but we rebound going into the weekend. So if you have Valentine's Day plans, you are going to find that it's a little bit more mild. So if you have something that's maybe planned outside, you are going to see that it's not going to be as bitter cold like it was throughout the month of January, but we are going to continue to see those temperatures into the mid 30s, and we'll have those even climbing closer towards the 40s. I do want to bring up our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook because we've been seeing this warmer air. It's just kind of been stuck and pooling on the western side of the country. It has finally shifted eastward. We're kind of seeing the best chance of above average temperatures into the central plains. But still for us, our percentage is not bad at all if you are a warm weather fan. Now for those who are ice fishing, you probably don't like to hear this forecast because this is going to start on Sunday, so right after Valentine's Day, and then go into the next week. So that is going to be meaning that we are going to be looking at a stretch where we find our temperatures to be above freezing. That means melting to be on the table for us. So we have a very strong chance of seeing temperatures above average, with that average hanging out right around 30 degrees. That means sitting throughout the mid to upper 30s is something that is going to be a little more likely in the forecast coming up. So and just kind of seeing those chances and then seeing those numbers getting us back into those mid to upper 30s, it's no surprise here that we are going to kind of be seeing a warmer forecast. So because of that, I do want to bring up, I'm going to jump ahead just because we were talking about the mild weather. So Saturday is Valentine's Day. If you still need the reminder, well, here's a pretty early reminder. You got time to get the chocolates and the flowers ordered, but you are going to see that it is dry. So if you're going to be doing some outside activities with loved ones, you are going to be finding that it's dry, mild, temperatures in the upper 30s. As it gets a little bit closer, we'll break it down hour by hour in case you do have some lunch or dinner plans expected for Saturday night. But overall, Valentine's Day looking pretty good for anybody who is going to be celebrating and spending some time with their loved ones. So happy to see a nicer forecast coming through. I am going to take a quick break. I am going to be back to talk about any wet conditions that we have. It is a pretty quiet forecast, but we'll still take a look at that hour by hour. We'll have a check of the 7-day forecast and also make sure that you're ready to go for tonight. So we'll be back in about 60 seconds, and that's what we're going to be talking about. So we'll be right back here in a minute. Welcome back. As we dive into the forecast, I was talking about us seeing some of those rain and some snow showers trying to come through, really a lot of it not bothering us here, not even really making it to the ground. So we are still working with the cloud cover. You can see that being picked up on satellite. We have a little bit better clearing. You can see closer towards Ionia. And then throughout portions of Genesee County, as I had mentioned here at the start of our stream, we have some sun that's trying to come through here on our Harley-Davidson Vehicle City camera. So if you are looking for some sun, kind of the further south you go, the better chance you'll have. I anticipate, though, a little bit closer towards Houghton Lake, we might have had a little bit of sun that might actually be working its way south. So if you're in Gladwin or Clare, I would kind of keep an eye outside. You might be able to pick up a little bit more sunshine here coming your way. So something to kind of look forward to. But we are going to find here in the hour by hour forecast that we have the cloud cover that's just going to kind of continue to move through. These clouds, though, not carrying any precipitation with them. And as I did mention earlier, we have that 10% chance of some snow to come in. So you're going to see that pair here for today and tomorrow when we look at the 7-day. But you will find it's more kind of into Wednesday morning. So during the night, I'll back this up a little bit here. So you can see that with that northwest wind, some of that lake effect does start to build in and come across. So just a few showers of snow can come across. But you can see by the morning commute, a lot of that has moved out I'd be keeping an eye to roadways just in case those can pack a little bit of a punch, but overall I'm not seeing strong returns to have even much accumulation. So overall roadways should be fine. Your commute should be on time as well. Throughout the day on Wednesday, we'll continue to kind of see that northwest flow, so that can still keep some lake effect. It doesn't appear to be too terribly strong. We may pick up closer towards the evening some snow showers across Roscommon, Ogama, Iosco counties, and then even coming across the Outer Bay into Huron County. So we still can pick up a little bit of snow in some of those locations just from lake effect. We'll really be watching that wind direction to see how that is angled as that gets a little bit closer into Wednesday. But overall, we are going to be seeing that a lot of that lake effect still doesn't add up to very much. So we do have a forecast on Thursday that's pretty quiet still. We do have that cloud cover, a little bit of sun kind of coming through, but overall not a lot of chances of precipitation in the forecast. We have high pressure that's kind of rolling in, and it is going to get stuck here. It doesn't mean that the rest of February, because I know we're almost halfway through February, doesn't mean that the rest of the month is going to be all that quiet. We do have a couple of systems that we're watching, so we will be seeing closely kind of how everything holds. Our low temperatures tonight, we are going to be seeing those hanging out into the low to mid 20s. So when we had looked at that almanac page, we had seen that some of our normal lows are closer towards the low to mid teens. So we're going to be above average, and that's going to kind of hold from some of the heat that we've had today with our temperatures able to warm up, and then even having some clouds tonight, we're able to hold on to some of that heat. When we had really some of those cold, bitter days when that Arctic air was in place, we also didn't have a lot of cloud cover. So though we didn't have a lot of heat, any heat that we had, it was just disappearing. So we are seeing that our setup is a little bit more comfortable to allow for some of that heat to hold here in the forecast. When we look at our next 7 days, we are going to be finding that we do have our conditions with that 10%. So kind of just a couple of snowflakes, though that chance has wrapped up here for today. And then going into Wednesday, so still seeing mostly cloudy skies and some lake effect to come through. We'll be watching the coverage going into Thursday, kind of keeping that partly to mostly cloudy skies. It's still winter after all. We still have those temperatures below freezing into the upper 20s by Thursday. So that means some lake effect cloud cover is still going to be possible. But we will continue to see those temperatures climbing starting Friday, going into the weekend. We are keeping an eye on Sunday on that wintry chance, that wintry mix to be possible. We only have that at a 20% right now, and it hasn't really been holding together all that well in the data either. So we are going to be potentially making some changes to that Sunday forecast, but it doesn't seem to be escalating. So we're not headed in that direction. But we are still just going to kind of keep an eye to it in case you're traveling for the weekend, but we will see if maybe we can get that taken off of that 7-day forecast. But even going into Monday of next week, we have 40 degrees on there, partly cloudy sky, so a really nice and beautiful Monday setting up for next week. We're happy to have that. Always a little bit of sun on a Monday is welcomed. Makes things a little bit easier. So we are going to be finding that it's a little bit more tolerable here. Just something to kind of keep in mind that for folks who are doing some ice fishing, to kind of keep an eye to those waters and any of the ice that wants to come through. Kind of pulling up that ice coverage here through the bay. So this is going to be just throughout Saginaw Bay. We have a lot of fast ice. I know we have through the river, still quite a few ice shanties that are out. So just be cautious out there closer towards the water. And if you are going to be out on the ice, of course, know your thickness, kind of know any changing conditions. Keep an eye out for any water that could be there. A lot of the Great Lakes have been busy with the ice coverage, so we just kind of want to remind folks with it warming up here to make sure that you are cautious if you are going to continue to have those ice shanties out and to do some fishing. But with a quieter forecast, we are going to be wrapping it up here for today. Thank you so much for joining us. As a reminder, you can join us at WNEM.com. All you got to do is hit that live stream page there at the top along the banner. You'll be able to find us so that you can always watch us there. Also, if you're on the go, the TV5 News app is a great spot that you can join the live stream. We're also streaming to Roku and Fire Stick channels. All you got to do is download the WNEM TV5 app. And then we're also streaming to Facebook Live, the WNEM Facebook page, but also the WNEM YouTube page as well. So we're in many platforms, a lot of ways that you can connect with us. So hopefully you'll be joining us there, and then also letting your friends and family know how they can get connected with TV5. But thank you so much again for hanging out with us, and we look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you for joining us. Today's stream has been brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.